Well, the Eagles' season is over, Ike. They lose 23-19 at home to the San Francisco 49ers. Go ahead. I mean, what do you think of the game? Where do you think it puts them? There's so much. There's such a long list of stuff from that game. Where are you?
Yeah, emotions are still a little high.
Yep.
Disappointment is obviously there. Frustration and anger has subsided a little bit since yesterday. But, man, and now the reality sort of sets in that, this is what we've been watching all year long. And while we've tried to convince ourselves that they could somehow overcome these deficiencies, the mental errors, the ineffectiveness from the offense at times, right? We thought they can overcome these things and sort of go on some magical run in the postseason. The realization of that not happening has continued to set in and sink in. And as you think more and more about the game yesterday, the disappointment level of it just continues to increase because you're really looking at a wasted opportunity. And I can understand if they dealt with a rash of injuries that really prevented them from reaching their potential. But this was more self-inflicted. And that's what made it more frustrating. And that's why you don't have very many repeat champions in this sport and in other sports. Because once you win it, and I'm not sitting here speaking from experience because I obviously have not won a championship, but being around the game enough and having that disappointment of reaching greater heights and not being able to sustain it or exceed it, I certainly can speak from that experience. Complacency sets in. Distractions from other things that aren't championship goal-oriented starts to set in. And that's a lot of what happened this year. And the complacency encompasses so much. What I mean by that is, are you putting in the same amount of work to be the best that you can be as you did last year that made you a champion? Are your priorities in the proper order as they were last year when it was about toughness, detail, right, and those sorts of things? You lived on those things. One of Nick's sayings last year, which the players harping on, was you can't be great without the greatness of others. That's speaking of selflessness. And that wasn't the mantra this year for this team. It just wasn't. And being focused on the small things that helped you become a champion a year ago was overstepped or overlooked. And moving forward, there are a lot of changes that have to be made, right? There's a lot of changes that have to be made, but there aren't easy changes to be made, right? The direction this team is going to go moving forward, is it in the direction that says our goal is still to win a championship at the beginning of next season? Or are you resetting? So I got so much going through my mind, Spike. We'll get into the particulars of the game from yesterday because really yesterday's game is a microcosm of what this season really was. We had missed extra point. We had
penalties
at the wrong time, seemingly always at the wrong time, meaning that when you get a big play or in a critical moment, we hurt ourselves, drop passes, missed throws, right? Not being able to adjust from a schematic standpoint offensively, going through lulls of not being productive offensively. The one thing that did happen yesterday that didn't happen often this year, but it did creep up a little bit, is we gave up big plays defensively. And that wasn't something that was indicative of this defense all year. So, I don't want to get too long-winded, because we got a lot to comb through today. I've been listening. All the anger is justified. Where do we go from here? I don't know. Yesterday is so disappointing in the way that game played out, but it shouldn't be surprising because we've watched that all year long.
215-592-9494. Make no mistake, that game yesterday, that is a bad loss. That is not disrespect to Kyle Shanahan, who I think is a great coach, and Brock Purdy, who's a really good quarterback, and that team who has played well all year. Mm-hmm. there are a lot of teams in a lot of ways this playoffs could have gone and the Eagles could have lost, and you could have said to yourself, you know what, I get it. They didn't win the Super Bowl again, but I get it. You play a 49ers team at home who you're almost a touchdown favorite against, who is missing not only their best defensive players, but the next round of defensive players, who lose George Kittle, their best offensive player or their second best offensive player in the second quarter. And you have a lead in the fourth quarter. That's a bad loss.
Yeah.
And Nick preaches, and you touched on this, Nick preaches three things: tough, detailed, together. And I ask you, who was the team on the Lincoln Financial Field yesterday that was tough, that was detailed, and was together? Because it was not the Eagles. The detailed team was the team that had one penalty, not seven, who didn't have confusion at the line of scrimmage all the time. That was the team that was detailed. The team that was tough was the team that lost all those players and went on the road all the way across the country and beat the Super Bowl champions. That was the tough team. And the together team, it's hard to pick the team where the head coach is screaming at the wide receiver on the sideline in the middle of the game. That doesn't seem like a team that was together. And this Eagles team, though they won more games than they lost and they won the division, all those things, they were not reflective, as what you said, of what this era of Eagles football is supposed to be about. And they got in the playoffs. It wasn't 2023, but it ended in the same way, in a loss in the first round against a team that you were favored against. And it raises questions about things that we thought we were sure about moving forward. Again, they did not have to win the Super Bowl this year, I don't think, for this season to look back on and say, okay, we did something this year. But you can't lose in the first round at home against that 49ers
against
team.
An undermanned team.
Yep, you just can't.
So let me get down to those four plays, right, late in the game.
Yeah.
We get the ball back after going up 19-17. Before I get to those plays, all right, this is not me ragging on the defense, but this is me holding the defense accountable. We were going to pin our success on the backs of the defense. That was the identity of the team. I can't harp on that for weeks, and then all of a sudden when we get in the moment and we don't come through, now we go back to blaming the offense. There were opportunities where we should have taken advantage of Quignon's turnovers. There was a short punt that and this is all in the second half, to only get 6 points in the second half, 2 field goals with the type of field position they have, was a disgrace by the offense. That being said, we go up 19-17. I need to stop.
You can't let them drive down the lane.
You got to get off the field.
Yeah.
If nothing else, hold them to a field goal. If nothing else, at least that gives you an opportunity to kick a field goal going the other way versus having to score a touchdown. I need you to bow your neck up and keep them out of the end zone. It was too easy. Love Coach Fangio. Love this defense. Got no problem with it. But we talked about this before the game. The biggest weapon the 49ers had was Kyle Shanahan. The matchup against Vic Fangio. And while Coach may have called the right defense, the players didn't execute it correctly. That halfback pass or that wide receiver pass to Christian McCaffrey, come on, man. Where's our disciplined football at? Where is putting your eyes on your luggage and your responsibility? Your luggage is your player, Fritz, in case you didn't know. Yeah, your responsibility in doing that versus watching the play unfold. One of the advantages I thought we had was up the middle of our defense. And while our tackles played pretty well yesterday, our linebackers and safeties did not play well yesterday. I can go through the missed tackles. Marcus Epps, not asked to do a whole lot. One of your corners get beat, you're the safety net. You can't go up there and miss the tackle and allow 40 more yards of offense. That happened on a play to Robinson after Quignon got beat. Safety, make the tackle. That's what you're back there to do, make tackles, not miss tackles. It happened again with Juwan Jennings running through the middle of the field. Reed Blankenship, not one of your better days.
No.
Zach Bond, my God, brother. Looked real stiff out there yesterday, overrunning plays. Didn't look like your normal self yesterday. So I say that to say our defense didn't bring us home like they should have brought us home.
Well, and that, I agree. And that is yesterday is an example of when it's going to be your defense that's going to lead you, the tightrope that is and how hard that is. You look at the teams that are remaining in the playoffs. The Rams, top 10 offense. Niners, top 10 offense. Bills, top 10 offense. Seahawks, top 10 offense. But the New England Patriots, top 10 offense. Like, this is it's really hard, and there was always going to be one game at some point. Now, you would hope it'd be against the Rams or something like that.
It'd be more understandable if that's who it was against.
Yes. But there was always going to be one game where the offense was going to have to score points.
Sure.
And they did. But I agree with you. I said to myself, as the defense was giving up that drive, I had like Angel on one shoulder, Devil on the other shoulder. Devil is going, Angel's going, look, they've been on the field the whole second half and yada, yada, yada. But Devil's going, look, guys, this is the drive.
Yeah.
You cannot allow this drive. If this is the team, if the defense is the team, you can't let this Niners team, who don't have a faster player than you at this point on offense.
Yeah.
You see, how are they? Yeah, I agree with you.
You can't have that, man. So and that's why everybody had a piece in this thing yesterday.
Yes.
Everybody had a piece in this thing yesterday. AJ, we're going to get to you. Yes. Don't you worry. We're going to get to AJ before it's too late. But Jalen, here's what I need on that final drive. Great job all the way up until it was 1st and 10 from wherever the hell we were at that point.
20-something.
Wherever it was.
Yeah.
You got to be better, bro. You can't miss that throw to Devontae. That was the play. It was the right play call. You needed the proper execution. That would have taken, Devontae almost pulled it in. Would have been a great catch by him. That was not a good throw by Jalen. When we talk about him throwing the ball over the middle of the field, this is why he's uncomfortable doing it. That's why he's uncomfortable doing it. I don't want to go through the whole thing Tom Brady went through about keeping the nose of the ball down, that quarterback jargon.
Come on, Ike.
But Tom Brady pointed out the nose of that football was going up versus going down when it got to Devontae
Which makes
Smith.
the ball sort of rise.
Yes, it makes it rise.
Yep.
And so that's what you get from a shorter quarterback versus somebody who's throwing at his target.
Yeah.
You got to make that throw. And then you can't escape the pocket and just waste a down. You can't just escape the pocket and waste it down. It's too critical right here. So then we go to the timeout. And y'all are over there discussing what to run. For everybody out there, when they go over there talking to him, they are asking him, what does he think? What do you feel most comfortable with in this scenario here? What do you like, Jalen? So he has input on what they're running there. He knew the coverage he was going to get. He said that, and I'll give him credit. He didn't make any excuses. He didn't blame anyone else. He said it was on him. You got to throw that. If you're going to go to Dallas Goedert, which I totally understand because now you don't trust AJ on the outside. You want to go to Goddard because he's been the big guy for you. You got to throw that ball with anticipation. You got to throw that ball with anticipation as opposed to waiting for him to sit down in that zone and get open. Too many eyes are on you. It's 4th down. They're all watching. So you got to throw that. You got to have the ability. You're not Matthew Stafford, but you got to have the ability to look off defenders and still put the ball where you intentionally want to throw the ball. You can't stare at the spot you want to throw the ball to. I need you better in that position. If we're going to call you elite because you win, then that was your time to be elite and get the win. We don't need you to be elite all game, but some of us refer to you as being elite because you do what it takes to win games. You needed to be elite right there, and you weren't. Missed opportunities there. 1st and 10 from there. We should have been going in the end zone.